The idea of redoing the scene where future Mark comes to take his clothes, only this time having present day Mark wear his original costume, happened the day after episode 4 came out, where this scene originated. For 6 days straight, I redrew every frame of Invincible, and it was so much fun. Not only was it cool to see the original costume interact with the new black and blue costume, but it was really interesting to see the differences between both. I didn't really notice the differences or really paid attention to them until I started making this video. Like, of course, not only did they take away the yellow, but there's the added lines on Mark's mask, and the patterns have changed as well, like with the gloves, especially with Mark's shoulder guards. But they use a different shade of blue. The original costume used a more light blue, whereas this one uses a darker blue. I know it may sound small, but it's really neat because this does reflect on what Mark is going to go through during his time in this new suit. And if you read the comics or know anything about what happens in them, you know what I'm talking about. Of course, the eye drop tool was a lifesaver as I was able to pull the exact coloring of Mark's original suit because I didn't want to just use some random yellow, some random blue. It had to be perfect. It had to be 1-to-1 with the original suit. And after that took 6 days to do, even losing a lot of sleep over it. Why? Because it was fun. I actually had a lot of fun doing this. But with that being said and done, the last thing to do was to actually combine what I've made with the original scene. However, normally with this color scheme with your black, your yellow, and your blue, it would have been easy to just, paint the background green and then call it a day, right? But, I didn't just stop at just, recoloring the whole suit. I had to make sure that Mark's costume actually reflects off of the portal where future Mark comes in. So I drew every frame. What I did was I took the green from the portal, and then every 4 frames I would increase the opacity by 25%. So I start from 25% and then work my way up. But using the green screen with this, it looks like shit. The best way around it is to do it red, to have a red screen. That way if you're using any green, it's not affected when you're trying to take away the background. Again, this whole idea was just so much fun, especially how this reflects for what's to come, and a commentary on what the suit really represents. And on a last note, I did really consider having the colors match with the environment, because if you look at the original scene, the colors are a bit washed to, show that grayness. It's a dystopian future where there's a lot of dust and ash. I had thought about it, believe me. However, on one hand, I actually really like the original colors the way they are, and so I was kind of debating on whether to just do it the way it's supposed to be, where it matches the background and seamlessly blends in, or to have the colors properly stick out because it just looks so good. I'll just make another version with it.